I've heard you, I think it's probably in your book, or maybe I heard you say it, but we're breathed by our brains.
Mhm.
That interplay between the brainstem and, that bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, I think is very interesting.
It is.
And I wonder, where does one start the journey into their breath? Is it a psycho emotional exploration? Could there be some type of deep held anxiety or trauma or something of the sort that's causing me to not be able to breathe in a way that actually indicates safety? Or is it something where I can mechanically move in and start to bring some more tissue hydration and elasticity and responsivity to the tissues that would allow the body to breathe in a way that would indicate safety? Or does it even matter? Does it all matter that you get started with the journey into the body, into the self?
Well, I think that your students or clients or people listening to this, if they're intrigued by breath practices, what I have seen, I think there's those people that are like, I really just want to try breathing. I've heard it can be amazing. I heard it can be life-changing. I heard it can decode all of my mental stuff. But quite often, one thing that can happen when people are struggling with pain is breathing can become over time very shallow and unfulfilling. And so then when they start to place attention on breathing, breathing is kind of a rebel, and it doesn't want you to look at it. It becomes very self-conscious, and it becomes even more self-aware of the challenge of breathing mechanics. What I'm referring to here is breath-induced anxiety. So when you start to put a spotlight on something so automatic, it's like if I said to you, okay, Aaron, I want you to spotlight on your blood flow right now. Let's see if we can make a change in that blood flow all over the body. It's a little stressful to even think about it, but through conscious practices, we can actually do things that can alter our heartbeat, right? By the way, breathing and position and palpation are some of those things that can do that. But breathing is so raw because you can regulate it. It's automatic, but it's also a regulatory thing. So when I have folks come in to a class or studio and they're like, I really want to tackle the breathing thing. And if I start working with them and I can see that my breath cues or my coaching are not helping them to find a rhythm that they can actually overtake, and like riding a stallion almost, what I'll do is I'll actually step aside and we'll do palpation or positional based work and tell them, don't worry about the breathing. The breathing is going to come along for the ride. I don't want you to try to control it. Let's use some ball work, right? So I have these squishy, pliable balls.
Gorgeous ball.
Yes, all different sizes. But this one, the gorgeous ball, this inflated one, is so good for creating biofeedback of giving your body something to work against. And I usually find that within minutes, people can get a hold of a respiratory pattern that can then ultimately alter state, and then we can start to build on these changing mechanics. Did I answer your question there?
Well, yeah, you started to. I think where does what's the highest leverage route to start the conversation into breathing mechanics? Is it actual structural, physical, get a ball in there, lie on it, create some biofeedback, breathe into those places, and that will end up inducing a more probably parasympathetic state for the nervous system. Suddenly they'll feel calm. They'll feel like they have the autonomic safety to be able to have the spaciousness to breathe. Or could there be another path if a person's been in kind of like more of a shallow zone 3 breathing pattern for a long time? They're not able to get a full exhalation. They're kind of in this like chronic surprise state. Should they be talking to a therapist? Should they be eating a handful of psilocybin and going and hang out in a tree for 6 hours and allowing having a Kundalini awakening happen to them? Maybe not the latter part, but the whole psychosomatic like mind body relationship bridge, I think is very fascinating. And I think you can create a lot of, well, I don't think, I absolutely 100% know you can create an immense amount of structural change through the psyche. You can enter the soma through the psyche, and you can enter the psyche through the soma.
Yes.
Is there any, I think it would probably, it becomes kind of probably a semantic.
I think you're answering your own question. I mean, I think it's a depends on the person. Like
Yeah.
when I show them a really, funny, show them a really funny video and start getting them to do rapid, to laugh, which is the transversus abdominis starting to jostle things around and getting some mobility there, right? So it could be through the emotions. And then, and that emotional breath signature can also lead to a structural signature change and so on. I mean, you and I speak a lot of the same language in terms of, what we like, how we like to approach the body. But, I have so many different ways of trying to support my people. So, it can be through that tickle effect, or it could be allowing them to start to tell story, to start to talk. Or it can just be, let's use our body. Let's turn off our story mind. Let's turn off our sort of hyper thinker mind here and start to feel what it feels like to roll the body against the ground. And then, oh, look, there's a ball there. See how you can roll yourself over that ball. I mean, there's so many different ways. I have 114 exercises in Body by Breath that are designed to really help people embody their body and be able to move in to breathing as a whole body expression rather than just a mental expression, or rather than just a nose to lungs expression.
Yeah.